Hello guys. So this is the pre-market analysis of 4th of June, and again more of negative than yesterday. Yesterday also we had seen some negativity in terms of ADR and IT weakness and everything, but today it's slightly much more. If you look at the concern again, new Trump tariff threat, something which we have seen way back before the war and all, and at that point of time market was reacting to this for quite some time, right? And then once we had the trade deal and everything, that uncertainty is over. Then came war. Now again, this tariff threat is coming, and this escalation in US-Iran conflict is also there. Oil prices also rising, and there is a continued weakness in IT stocks. And you can see yesterday, TCS came all the way till, which is very close to the lower circuit of 10%. It's around 9.5 something, and even I was thinking that it is now going to hit the lower circuit. And how many times you have seen, at least in the recent times, have you seen that blue chip stocks like TCS, something which is there, part of Nifty 50, is about to hit the lower circuit, coming to 9.5% down and all? No. So there is some inherent, some structural, some strong weaknesses there when it comes to our market. And we have seen couple of days back, up last week, there were some good bounce which is happening in TCS, Infosys, and IT. Almost 7%. Now it is almost going to be taken out, right? And at that point of time itself, I've told you it could be a dead cat bounce, or it could be a value buying which you are getting from, that was like very, very low prices, which we haven't seen before. Quite, I think in the last 3 years, we haven't seen such kind of price for these stocks. Again, global market sentiment also. If you look at yesterday, we had our negativity, but if you look at US markets were positive, but now US market is also negative because of this uncertainty. So global market sentiment is also turning negative. Yesterday, our market sentiment was slightly negative because of ADRs and other things, inflation expectation, but global market was positive. And then we have seen a short covering rally towards the afternoon session. Now, GIFT Nifty is also indicating close to 150-point gap down. So these are the things that I want to discuss in this video. I told these are the negativities, and slightly negative bias is what I have for today, and sell on rise market. So many people don't want to watch the video fully, and that's the reason why important negativities and the view I told first. Now, if you have any view, you can also contribute, like yesterday someone was telling that yes, till morning session it can be negative, afternoon there can be short covering, and exactly the same way. So in case if I'm missing something also, if you can add to that, the viewers will get benefited and I'll also get benefited, right? Yesterday someone was talking about this tariff because I was not aware about that, and that all those are actually helping me. So it will help me, it will help the fellow traders also who are watching. And if you can contribute also, it will be really good, because I can miss something, right? These are the things which I am getting in my, getting from by my team, and that's what I'm presenting to you. So if I'm missing something, it will be very, good that if you can contribute your own, perspective, or your view also. My perspective is what I'll be talking about, right? So let's start with the global market concern. Yesterday morning, the market was already dealing with multiple negative factors. Firstly, we have seen crude oil has moved to 96 because of the developments which we have seen with respect to the conflict, and the IT stocks were under severe pressure due to the brokerage downgrades. And there were no visible end of US-Iran conflict which is going on. It's just going on here and there, right? Negotiations are not reaching anywhere, and there were concerns regarding a weaker monsoon. And I have explained the reason of how this monsoon is going to impact also. If you want, I can do a separate video for those who need to have that level of clarity. So these are the factors that already created a weak market environment, and that's why market have fallen in the morning. And then there was a short covering. Now comes the new thing, Trump's new tariff announcement. So there's a fresh concern which emerged last day. We have seen and we have fought with it in the last year after Trump became the president, and it went quite some time around this. So now the US Trade Representative Jamieson Greer announced 59 countries, along with the 27 European Union countries, have failed to adequately enforce laws prohibiting forced labor as a result under Section 301. Now, let me clarify this. If US want to stop imports, now why import they need to stop? For encouraging the domestic production, or to discourage the outflow of forex, right? So because if you import, outflow of forex, and your domestic industries won't do very good because you can get cheap products from outside. So you can create many reasons under WTO. There are agreements where based on that you can you can tell that the other countries are using forced labor to create it, so it is against our it is against us, so you can impose that. Or you can tell that animals are harmed, which is again like when you are producing leather. We have seen these many times, and these are loopholes in the law. So it's not that there is a see, if that is the case, everywhere forced labor is there. Tomorrow they can come and tell that child labor, right? And day after tomorrow they can come and tell that leather products we are banning because you are harming the animal. In fact, it is done. And then cleanliness related to aspect also they can ban. So if they want to ban, this is just one reason. To any reason you can come and tell, and you can simply ban it. So here I don't think that there is a point in discussing too much about it. Under Section 301, Trump administration is planning to impose 10% tariff on some countries, 12.5% tariff on other countries, and India falls under the 12.5% tariff bracket. So see, if they want to discourage forced labor, then you should not import at all, right? Or why are you going for 12.5% tariff? It is to get the tariff, right, the tax, at the same time to discourage the import. It is not, in that case, if it is forced labor, if that is your claim, then you don't import. Why you are importing something which is made with forced labor in other countries, right? It is against humanity also. This is creating fresh uncertainty. So it is not actually because of that. It is because US want to impose tariff. US don't want to promote imports. That's the reason. So that is what I told you. Leather products, you will tell that animals are harmed. These products, you will tell that it is forced labor. Tomorrow, another product, they will tell that it is child labor, right? So these are loopholes that they can use. Now, one important question that still remains unanswered, whether this new tariff is in addition to the existing tariff or not. And that announcement became another major negative factor for global market. Now, what happened in Indian market yesterday? There was a huge weakness. IT was going like anything. Even Bank Nifty also contributed in the morning fall during first session, and the market recovered sharply, like a V type, or even aggressive recovery is what we have seen. And compared to last day, yes, there was a short covering, but the premiums were not spiking much. But yesterday, the premiums were also spiking in a big way, because already the call premiums were discounted. So when you got such kind of move, you got such kind of spike also. So now the Indian government may consider reducing tax rates on foreign investors investing in Indian bond. This news is circulating now, and also relaxing certain investment related regulation, and reducing this withholding tax form, like 20% tax from 20% back towards the earlier 5% level. So see, these reports are not officially confirmed, but they are widely reported across major financial media outlets. Because of that, a significant short covering. Uh, we have seen Nirmala Sitharaman candle. So such kind of, if there is any possibility that long-term capital gain tax or something which is removed, then on budget day, upon imposition of security transaction tax itself, we have seen such a fall. And Nirmala Sitharaman candle we have seen in case of corporate income tax. So something like that is going to happen on capital gain tax. Then FIAs can get attracted also, because they can hold in stocks, and then rest of the trading activity also they can do. So that could be the potential reason. But this news is there for quite some time, right? A couple of weeks back also. But suddenly the short covering have happened, and Nifty recovered almost all its intraday lows and closed above 23,400 also. Now the conflict escalation. So the geopolitical situation is also almost escalating and worsened. So there are reports. In fact, US Central Command reported that multiple Iranian missiles and drones targeting Kuwait, Bahrain, and all these were intercepted successfully. So Iran is also attacking these countries, according to US, Central Command. And US military also responded. US also conducted strikes on Shem Island, and that's an area where Iran have significant gas reserves and storage facilities. So what is Iranian response? The Iranian media reported that attacks on the US Fifth Fleet headquarters in Bahrain. So this basically indicate that the military activity between both sides now continue to escalate. So that tension is also there now in the market. Now, on the diplomatic front, new proposal. Iran reportedly gave a proposal, kind of four-phase peace framework. There is no point in me discussing about that. We have seen quite some time also this kind of peace framework, and US is sending it back, and this to and fro movement, right? So firstly, it is complete ceasefire. Second phase, removal of naval blockade and removal of oil sanction, and then reopening of Strait of Hormuz. And third phase, broader negotiation on sanctions, nuclear issues. And the fourth phase, establishment of a supervisory committee to monitor implementation of this agreement. And at this stage, currently, negotiations continue. There is no final agreement has been reached also. Now, oil price, if you look at it, it's continued to rise. Oil WTI is around 95.5 and Brent crude is around 97.4. So this crude oil price increasing is again a bigger concern for India. Now, if you look at US market performance, along with geopolitical tensions which is going on, and new tariff concern is coming now, inflation fear is also there. So if tariff is imposed, US also is not devoid of issues. They will also face inflation, right? Because of that itself, US markets have closed negative. Dow Jones is down around 1%, and S&P also is down. Nasdaq is also down, and VIX has increased around 2%, right? So GIFT Nifty at this point of time is indicating 23,300, which means 150 to 170 point gap down is what we are looking for. So if the gap down is less, maybe 100 points or 50 points, then that's a great opportunity that you are going to get to short the market. But if gap down is 170, 200 point, you have to wait for a bounce and then short the market. Okay. Now, if you look at banking ADRs, banking ADRs have closed positive, but the arbitrage remains broadly in line with the arbitrage means the price correction and the difference. So that's almost similar. And there is no fresh directional signal you can derive from banking ADR. But if you look at IT ADR, it continued to be weak. Infosys fell around 4%, continued to the previous day decline. And Wipro, again, very much under pressure. So we are looking for a second consecutive day of weakness in IT ADR. IT can drag again today. So IT will create that fresh negativity again in the Indian market today. That could be the reason why we are going to get the gap down also. Now, with respect to India-US trade deal update, there is a positive development that again came overnight. US Ambassador Sergey Gore have stated that India and the US are very close to finalizing a trade agreement. And according to the statement, only around 1% of negotiation remains unsolved, unresolved. Everything else is set. And that is again actually something which is good for the market. If you look at FIAs, yesterday sold for 5,600 crore and DIAs bought for 5,750. There is a net inflow of just 150 crore from institutions, but then who did that rally? That's the question. Okay, so if you look at the market, what are the positives? There is a potential bond market reform, possible tax reduction for foreign investors, India-US trade deal, which is nearing its completion, continued DIA support. These are positives, but not much. Negative, new Trump tariff threat. India included in that 12.5% tariff bracket, and escalation of US-Iran conflict attacks is going on both the sides. Crude oil is now near 98. Negative US market close. Gap down is indicated by Nifty 150 to 170 points and continued at a fresh weakness in IT stocks. So these are the negatives that you need to keep in mind for trading today. So trade responsibly and trade carefully. Have your stop loss in the system. If I want to discuss the open interest data, if you look at call side, maximum OI is at the 24,000 again. And after that, 23,500, 23,300. New call rating is coming at 23,500, 23,400 level also. Put side, if you see maximum again, similar to yesterday, 23,300. If 23,300 is broken, that will be naturally shifted to 23,000 because 23,000 is followed by 23,000 and then 23,500 also there. That is a straddle people, but that I think they'll cover today. And new writing is also coming at 23,000, 22,800, 22,900 also. That is slightly more negative view. And option and open interest based view, if I need to take 23,300 is a good support, 23,800 is a major resistance. So this is the main, based on option data, I can tell you. Rest of it, technicals, I think I've discussed yesterday. And trade very carefully, guys. If you would like to trade with us, to join our community, you can get in touch with us. So every day we have the live market trading session where I trade and based on that I teach. So if you would like to join, you can get in touch with us and I see you there.